Alright guys, welcome back with me with another YouTube video. So today I'll talking about how Odin goes to the future. So, make sure to stay tuned for that. If you do enjoy seeing this anime reviews and want to keep them coming, the best thing you can do is smash that like button, and if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future anime videos. The latest chapter of One Piece has become a hot topic of conversation among fans in the last few days. The reason is, in the latest chapter yesterday, the fans were surprised by the appearance of a familiar figure, Kazuki Odin. It must be admitted that Kazuki Odin's appearance was completely unexpected. The reason is, the figure who is predicted to appear, or who is predicted to be a silhouette, is Kazuki Toki or Hiyori. Kazuki Odin is a very instrumental figure for Wano, but about 20 years ago the struggle of Kazuki Odin had to end when he was captured by Kaido and then executed in front of the residents of Wano. Kazuki Odin's return in chapter 1007 raises a big question: how then will Kazuki Odin appear in the present? How did Kazuki Odin come back? This was one of the questions fans asked when they found out that Kazuki Odin was back in front of the Red Scabbards. There are several theories as to how Kazuki Odin might return. First, Kazuki Odin didn't actually die 20 years ago, he was just playing dead. This probably made sense considering Odin had a strong armament haki. However, later this argument could be refuted considering that he was shown to have died as a result of being shot in the head. Kazuki Odin might still be able to survive after he was boiled or fried in hot oil, but would Kazuki Odin survive when he was shot in the head? It is possible that Odin actually survived the shot, and the moment where Odin smiled at the end was a sign that Odin was actually not dead, just pretending to be dead while waiting for the right moment to take revenge. Second, Kazuki Odin was probably sent to the future by Kazuki Toki. Toki is shown reading a letter from Odin at the moment Kazuki died. Toki then reads a poem that could be a clue about what will happen in the future, or to be precise 20 years later. Perhaps, at that time, Toki understood the contents of the message conveyed by Odin. That's why she sent Kazuki Odin as well as herself into the future. Maybe also, like the figure of Wanda in WandaVision, Toki brought the figure of Kazuki from another alternative, or revived the figure of Kazuki Odin. Third, there was another figure disguised as Odin. This is one theory that many fans also believe in. They believe that Kazuki Odin is dead. Couldn't his figure be revived? Since Kazuki Odin was dead, there was no way the figure who appeared before the Red Scabbards would be Kazuki Odin. The theory holds that there is another figure who might disguise himself as Kazuki Odin. For this, it is known that there are people who can do it. First is Bon Clay, second is Katarina Devon from the Blackbeard Pirates. However, Katarina Devon is more likely to be someone who disguises herself as Odin. The reason is, Bon Clay does not recognize and has never seen Odin's face, let alone touched him. Without touching the face of that figure, he couldn't transform into the figure of Kazuki Odin. Unlike the case with Katarina Devon with the Devil Fruit Dog Fruit model, Nine-Tailed Fox, where she doesn't need to touch anyone's face. The theory also states that the figure is Katarina Devon because the pose shown is very similar to the pose that is always done when Katarina appears, namely that her hands are on her waist. Finally, the figure of Kazuki Odin is Kanjuro's image. As we know, Kanjuro is able to draw beautifully and bring the image to life. Kanjuro can even draw very well and is similar. However, this theory is actually a little less plausible considering that Kanjuro was killed at the hands of the Red Scabbards. Even so, actually some time ago when the moment of Kanjuro's death appeared, fans doubted whether Kanjuro was really dead. It is the same with Orochi's death, which is also doubtful. So, is Kazuki Odin really dead? This is the big question right now, other than how then Kazuki Odin came back. Logically, looking at what happened in the past when the execution process took place, Kazuki Odin should have died. However, Eiichiro Oda is a controversial figure. It is not uncommon for him to revive a figure who should have died. In the SBS column, Oda explained that he never wanted to kill his character, nor to revive those who had died. According to Oda, resurrecting a dead figure is not his style. He is better off presenting a story where the figure is dying and then survives, rather than having to revive a character who has died. Based on the statement from Oda-sensei, coupled with the moment where Odin was shot in the head, it can be concluded that Kazuki Odin was actually dead. Then, how then did he come back alive? The figure that appeared before the red scabbards was most likely not the real Kazuki Odin. One of the biggest clues was the sword on his waist. As is well known, Odin has inherited his two swords Aim no Habakiri and Enma to Momonosuke and Hiyori. For Enma, Hiyori gave it to Zoro as part of the barter so that Zoro would hand over Shisui. Meanwhile, Aim no Habakiri was in Tenguyama's hands, after Momo had entrusted the sword to him and it would be taken back when he was mature enough. It's interesting, of course, to see definite answers to questions that arise after Kazuki Odin's reappearance. Unfortunately, for next week One Piece will have to take a break and will reappear at the end of March. We'll just look forward to how the story continues in the next chapter.
ナミさんの指示なしで夜の航海にできないわ。
そう。